Hello everybody, welcome back to Bag Only, the inventory-only Ultimate Ironman on Oldschool Runescape, not using banks, POH storage, clue scroll stashes, item retrieval services or death piles, or any kind of inventory-enhancing container. That's right, every item we obtain on this account will have to remain with us in our limited inventory, or we can risk temporarily dropping things on the ground where they could quickly despawn. If you're interested, I covered the rules and exceptions a little bit more back in episode 1, if you want to take a look at those. Speaking of episode 1, if this is your first glimpse of this series, all the episodes are in a handy little playlist over on the channel, if you're interested in catching up. The ultimate goal of this account is to rock a cute little questscape, and if we reach that target, then I'll decide the continuing future of the account when we get there. Maybe we'll do some PVM challenges or weird stuff. Anyway, with all that out of the way, on with the show. So we're starting off today by completing a couple of inane quests. Some might say that's all we actually do, but shut up. So while we still have our Ghostspeak amulet on us, I'm going to go and do the Making History quest. Avid watchers might remember that we picked this up actually last episode when we were visiting the outpost to do something else. So I'll just go meet the Ardy guy first, scoot up to Relica and meet the second quest NPC, and then finally scoot back over to Port of Phasmatis using our free entry from Ghosts Ahoy, just to talk to the third NPC and learn all the history we need to know about Gilnor. And then we nip back to Jorrel, turn it in, its quest complete. Immediately following this, you can do the Enchanted Key mini-quest, which I did decide to do, just because we get given the Enchanted Key, so it's already in our invent. This is just a silly little mini-quest that makes you run around Gilnor and you dig up some quote-unquote treasure, that's really just a load of junk. As you can see here, there's some noted low-tier ores, pure essence arrows, things like that. Nothing useful, but it's nice to clear these quests out of our quest log. Plus we got 1k prayer XP from Making History, so it's a little bit closer to the protection prayers that we so desperately crave. Speaking of inane questing, I found someone to do Shield of a Rav with, so that was cool. Nothing really to note about this one. If you've ever played RuneScape, chances are you've done this quest. The most difficult part is actually finding somebody to do this with. Fun fact, if you play RuneScape 3, then Shield of a Rav is actually completely soloable. Some might say that's because there's no other players playing the game, but... next up I wanted to knock out the Hand in the Sand quest. Last episode we scooped up our sand in Yanol for our UAM exclusive diary step, but this quest is actually super easy once you meet the requirements. It gives you a nice 9k crafting XP, so it's nice to get it done early. Just for the quest we need to get ourselves a white berry to make this pink potion, so I nipped over to the Melnick Slayer cave and just roughed up a few cave crawlers for their 1 in 26 white berry drop. With that out of the way, there's also a step to visit the dreaded Intrana Island, so we'd have to once again briefly drop our combat gear. Luckily, the visit to Intrana is not very long during this quest, so we can just drop our stuff on the floor, head over, do whatever we have to do, and then scoot back and pick our things up before they disappear, so that's nice. Grabbed a nice RuneLight plugin that just highlights the specific items you're not allowed to bring on, and does a little inventory highlight outline whenever you're on this dock and you talk to the monks, so that's really useful, shout out that plugin. Weirdly, climbing boots are allowed, even though they give you a melee strength bonus, which is kind of strange. But anyway, 9,000 crafting XP from this one, which gave us 51 crafting from 50. The reason we're already at 50 is because you get some nice mining and crafting XP while you're making runes inside Guardians of the Rift, which, as you know, we've been doing a ton of. With Hand in the Sand complete, we can also access the Mage Guild Rune Shop once we have the 66 mage to get in there, so all around it's a nice neat quest to have done. I just nipped over to grab a new cat, as we've still got a number of quests to do on the account that require a cat follower. I keep thinking, I'll go do the cat-based quests now, and then I end up doing something else for a full 3 hours, and then the cat's done, so I just sell it and get a new one. But at this point, we've actually got the Guardians of the Rift pet with us, which was kind of a little bit difficult. I couldn't quite figure out how to get rid of this guy. I tried dropping him, but obviously that just puts him behind you. There's no destroy option. Also, since we don't have access to a bank, we don't have the incinerator in there to drop him in there, as cruel as that sounds. So I couldn't see a way outside of just killing ourselves on purpose to get rid of this follower. I didn't really want to do that because I didn't want to somehow risk losing an important item on death or something like that. So because of this, I did the exception that I set up in episode 1 just for cosmetic pets, and decided to really quickly whip up a menagerie in our player-owned house and just chuck our Guardians of the Rift pet in there, because he is purely cosmetic, and honestly it was a much easier way to get rid of him than killing ourselves and running back to our death pile. So with our little lovely void boy living out his days inside our house, just grabbed ourselves a cat, went back and did some more runecraft. As you know, we're still trucking away towards the 400 pearls for the teleport ring. Currently... Yeah, I know what you're thinking. More Guardians of the Rift, no one cares, we know you're doing runecraft, fine, okay? Look, here, I got the ring. So forget all the middle bit. The main reason for getting this ring is the Earth Altar teleport. It puts us really close to the boat, to the dig site, which is the primary use we're going to use, rather than going through degradable dig site pendants every 5 times we need to go there. Plus it gives us really close access to the sawmill for doing more construction contracts later down the line, so it's a really, really useful teleport that we can equip in the ring slot. While out and about, I grabbed ourselves a magic boosting beer here from the Falador pub. I just went to put a West Ardy portal in our house. As you know, the portals are actually boostable in terms of the magic level requirement to direct them. So I made one to West Ardy just because it'd be a closer destination for turning in our grown-up cats, just to make the process of getting our death runes a little bit quicker. Tears of Gothic's time once again. This got us up to 32 farming, which is nice. We always want farming levels, as we're only really doing a few tree runs whenever we get tree seeds from our birdhouse runs. So progress is kinda slow. Hey guys, you've just caught me back on Fossil Island again. What I'm just going to do real quick, get this 65 strength. As you can see, we're in the absolute most baller gear. Regular dragon dagger from that dude who sells it for 60k. Varrock armor, climbing boots, whatever. Got our power army back. Got our ring of elements, which is cool. So we can teleport over to near the lumber yard whenever we want to do construction now. That'll be nice and easy. But yeah, what I'm going to do stats wise, just going to strength up to 65. Then we got enough melee stats to get into the Warriors Guild, which will be sweet. We'll be able to buy food and potions in there, and eventually go for our Defender. And then what I'm going to do, I calced it, I'm just going to get our defense up to about 55, and that'll put us up to 79 combat, which means the spiders in the underground pass will no longer be aggressive to us. Which is really, really helpful. So I'm going to get these levels up before we go attempt Underground Pass, just to make it easier on ourselves when we have to fight the spider boss partway through, because then the little spiders won't aggro us and make it a pain. So yeah, just going to do a little bit of combat here and then I'll see you in a bit. Ahoy gamers! It's bag only. Done our crabs, got ourselves 65 so we can get into the Warriors Guild now. Also went all the way to 60 defense, just so we can wear stuff up to Dragon. So if we do decide to go get the Dragon Defender, we can, and we can equip it. So yeah, let's go for other adventures. Hey guys, you find us in Narda. We got all the gear for Spirits of the Elid. Just going to try and do that because it gives you 8,000 prayer XP, and we need like 30k or something to get protection prayers, so this will be like a quarter of what we need. So I think it's going to be a decent quest to do. So I'm just going to bang out Spirits of the Elid. If there are any problems, I'll see you there. If not, I might see you at the end. So for Spirits of the Elid, we encounter some golems and doors that can only be passed by having a stab weapon, a slash weapon, a crush weapon, and a ranged weapon with us. Luckily, stab and slash are both covered by our dragon dagger, but I grabbed an adamant mace just from the Falador mace shop just for the crush, and I grabbed a bow and some arrows from the ranging store in Varrock just to shoot the target in the final room, just so we'd have all the different attack styles covered. Clearing this segment allows us to progress deeper into this desert cave where we can speak to the spirits of the River Elid and ask them why the wellspring over in the town of Narda has dried up. With their advice, we go to a genie's cave nearby and bargain with him to fix the wellspring for us in exchange for our very soul. In a classic bamboozle move, however, once his side of the bargain is complete, we instead hand him the soul of a shoe that we have in our possession, instead of our obvious soul. And there's the quest complete. Nice little bit of thieving and mage XP there, but mainly we're here for this 8,000 prayer XP, pushing us all the way up from level 32 to level 36, obviously on our way to 43 for those protection prayers. Additionally, we get access to the shrine here at Narda now the river's fixed, and basically we can drink from this and it'll fully replenish all our stats, just like the juice back in Ferox Enclave, except this place has the added bonus of boosting your HP by a little bit over your max. Ahoy gamers, we're back in Relica. We just did Spirits of the Elid and a little bit of farming and such like. Here are the stats. Just going to go do Mountain Daughter, got all the items together here. This gives you like 1 or 2k more prayer XP, so just putting all our attention into prayer at the minute because I really do want those protection prayers because it's going to unlock a whole bunch more stuff for us, mainly making questing actually possible. Still raising kittens. I did want to keep a cat fully grown to do Icthorin's little helper, but I can't imagine we'll be able to do the quest very easily without having protection prayers first. So the immediate goal here is to get protection prayers and then try and do the cat-based quests so we can kind of stop raising cats. So yeah, that's the immediate goal. So I'm just going to do Mountain Daughter here and I'll see you after. Wow, another amazing quest down. Did we get a prayer level? 37. That's nice, we finally got ourselves Protect from Magic. 6 more levels for Protect Melee. Apologies for these red flashing notifications, I did forget to turn them off for this recording session, so that's my bad. Merlin, I've brought Excalibur. Go speak to King Arthur. Oh, I thought that'd be the end, that's why I chimed in to record, but let's quickly go find Excalibur Man. King Arthur, I'm here and I've freed Merlin. Here we go, 6 quest points and a useless sword. I mean, the only reason we actually do this quest is so we can go on and do Holy Grail straight after. Not sure if I've got the stats to kill the Black Knight Titan. Surely we do. if I bring some food and flinch him. So I'm going to start Holy Grail straight away afterwards, just because it gives us another 11k prayer XP, as well as a bit of defense, but it's not going to make a difference to our defense level. So yeah, Holy Grail next, and I'll see you then. Right, another Intrana part of a quest again. We're just on Holy Grail here. Shout out the Intrana plugin on Plugin Hub by Patrick. Hopefully we're able to just drop our stuff here and come back and get it before any of it despawns. Okay, that's it. That's all you have to do. Right. Awesome, there's our stuff. Hopefully none of these monks walk over our left click and it sails us back. There we go, nothing lost. Still got our Chronicle, surprisingly. Anyway, yeah, off to kill the Black Knight and get some prayer XP. I wasn't sure we'd actually be able to do this, but normally I do this at a much lower combat, I think, on new accounts, so I expected this to be a lot tougher than it was, but since we have actually quite beefy melee stats and a tier 60 weapon, it was a bit of a cakewalk. Hey gamers, we've got our Holy Grail. Let's turn this bad boy in. Here we go, 15,000 defense, which is whatever, 2 quest points and 11k prayer, so that's pushed us up from 37 to 40. We can wear some prayer gear, which is nice, but we don't have any. And we've got protect from missiles, so we've got 2 of the 3 protection prayers, we just need kind of the most important one next. So 3 more levels for that. So I'm going to have a look and see what quests we can do next that will push us towards prayer XP. Well, I got 3 lamps from the guy. Cool, it's 3k into prayer, putting us at 41. Hey guys, so I've had a look at the wiki. Apparently you can claim some free prayer XP if you get 151 kudos with the museum. We're about 30 off, so I'm going to do the quest What Lies Below, which gives a bit of kudos. It's basically a runecraft based quest where you need to enter the Chaos Altar, but once again we can enter it through Guardians of the Rift, so I'm going back there. I thought we were free because we finally finished our ring, but I'm going to go do some more. Just get to the Chaos Altar through this minigame, and then complete that quest, and maybe a couple more, and then we'll grab ourselves 4k free prayer XP from the lady. Already just put 3 lamps from the museum into prayer, so we're only a couple of thousand off, honestly. If we get this kudos XP reward, will be 42, and then we'll just have 1 level, and we'll have all the protection prayers. Okay, so this is the very end of What Lies Below. Complete the quest and gain XP. Oh no, defense XP. So it's 2k defense, done nothing for us. 8k runecraft, done... I was going to say nothing for us, but it did get us to 65, which we do need for death runes. However, we can't do them, because of course you need Morning's End Part 2. So yeah, we just did that quest to get some kudos with the museum, so... Onwards. It's me, here in Poro Poro. I'm trying to catch Implings so I can get a U longbow to do Temple of Ikov, specifically for some kudos. It's going really badly. Especially the U longbow we want is 1 in 100. We've done 185 so far. So at this point I'm just going to get myself the magic butterfly net for a better success chance. I didn't think we'd be here this long to warrant getting this, but turns out we were. So let's crack these young implings. And once again, no luck. Okay, so back to it. Gamers, we did it! Here we are, got our U longbow for Temple of Ikov. Looking juicy. It took us, where's loot tracker, 220, which is quite a lot over the 1 in 100 it should be. But that's fine. We had a great time doing it. So, yeah. Off to get the rest of the items to Temple of Ikov, and I'll probably see you there. Here we are, in Temple of Ikov with our sweet bow. Oh, our cat's finished, sweet. Just to get our weight below the -1 that we had to cross the bridge in here, I just dropped everything on the floor. And then you can just run straight across the bridge, grab the lever, run back, and just pick everything back up, so... I think that's the only weight-related issue for this quest. The only problem later is going to be getting 20 limpworts, but I'll probably just go to hobgoblins and just safe spot them, like we did in that previous episode, and just get them as drops, as opposed to farming them, because I feel like we could get 20 as drops quicker than we could, like, grow, like, 4 patches of limpworts, so I guess we'll see. Just had to alch a few things just to make 20 invent spaces. This is our gear currently. Next to nothing because we dropped it, so our weight would be low to cross that bridge during the quest. But we've just had to alch our rune pick that we've had for a while, because we can always go buy that back. We just lose like 20-30k by alching it here and having to reclaim it later, but that's fine. And then we've had to get rid of some like runes and a nice key half that I kind of wanted to keep, because it's halfway towards a dragonstone, but that's okay. I just want this quest out the way. Alright, back to the temple. See if it actually lets me into the room, because I got rid of the bow and all the quest shit.
Hey YouTube, my name is Mike, and today I'm going to show you a really cool teleportation magic trick that you can use to amaze your friends.
Right, let's go kill level 14 Lucian. Yay, rubbish quest out the way. Hey again guys, just me. As it happens, it turns out we can actually do another bit of Recipe for Disaster, the Lumbridge Guide quest. So I'm going to go do that. Because if we do that, then we can grab myth gloves already, which would be absolutely crazy. So hopefully I can just go downstairs in Lumbridge Castle, use the food store here, and just grab all the items that we actually need, and then just run over to the Wizard's Tower, do the stupid quiz, and then come back. Right, here we are. Just done the RFD guide, and we've got ourselves mithril gloves. They're only 2k, and compared to black, it's another +1 in almost everything apart from mage. So really, really cool to have another upgrade on the account here. So for a little bit more museum kudos, I need to do In Aid of the Myrique, or Myrique, or however the hell you say it. But to do that, obviously we need to In Search of the Myrique first. So I've got all the stuff together, made all my own nails, made a silver sickle and went and got it blessed again, got a druid pouch back, picked the planks up off the floor, and then bought all the miscellaneous weapons from the various weapon shops that we need to. So what we're really just quickly going to do is hop over to Canifis, start this quest, see how far we can get, and then we'll move straight on to In Aid and just see if we have the skills and potential item requirements to do that. Then it'll get us enough kudos to be something like 3 off the kudos that we need to claim the free prayer XP. And if that is the case and there's no other quests we can do, then I might just do Ice Mountain and hand in like 3 of the things you can mine from there. So I'll catch you either later in this quest or at the next quest. There we go. Well, easy combat task because I killed a hellhound, but it's not really. Cool, quest done. Oh my god, the list of items required. Right, we're packed up with garbage once again. So we just completed In Search of the Myrique. We're now going to do In Aid of the Myrique. I've just got enough stuff with us to head over to Berg de Rot, give them a piece of cake to allow us inside, and then just some buckets and planks to like clear some rubble and fix a roof, I think. It's basically just the first 2 steps of the quest, because there are absolutely so many items you need to do this quest in its entirety. It's not possible even for a normal account to bring them all in one trip, let alone us. So we're just going to go, because we've done Shades of Morton already and we have fairy rings, it's relatively easy to get back down to Berg de Rot. If our Shades of Morton minigame tallies up, then obviously we can teleport straight there, and if it's not, then we can just fairy ring down, like we're going to do now, just to the River Salve, at the Nature Grotto, hop across and just walk through the little swirly worm bit. So I've got no issue with making multiple trips to do this quest, going to take it nice and slow, get our kudos, and also get access to temple trekking, which might be useful for us down the line, because obviously all the rewards from that are noted, which is really good for a UIM. Ahoy hoy! So we've cleaned out the shop, fixed the roof, fixed the wall, fixed all the rubble in the Myrique basement. Next thing, we need to go back with 5 planks for fixing another building, and then just after that we need another 5 planks to fix another building. So I've got 10 planks, and also we need to fill this crate with 10 snails, which we're about to do now. 1 at a time, because we've got 1 invent space left. And then we'll be able to fix up a little bit more of the town. We'll have to do another trip, come back with some steel bars and coal to fix the furnace. And then after that, that's the vast majority of the quest items done with. It'll just be actually progressing the quest. So, like I say, a couple of trips to do this one, but completely possible. No real challenges for the account, just a little bit more legwork, that's all. Yeah, so we've killed Gadaranx and his vampire boys, so we've just got the last bit of In Aid of the Myrique left. Basically what we need to do is go back to Canifis, to the hideout. We need to gear up Ivan in some steel gear, and then take him all the way to the quest version of temple trekking. But we have an hour and a half on our cat left, and I'd rather just turn that in for the death runes first, so just going to kill a little bit of time. I'm going to go around and make sure I've just got all the quest items together to complete the entire rest of the quest, to make the Rod of Evandis and all that stuff after. So I'm going to go kill some Chaos Druids to get a myth bar, going to make a silver bar, grab all the stuff to craft that, then going to get all the steel armor together to give to Ivan. Hopefully I can go give it to him and then come back later when the cat's finished and sort of pick him up as a follower. I suspect not, but yeah, gonna try because I've got an hour and a half to kill. If I can't, then I'll just chill for a bit, come back later and finish the quest. So it turned out that we could actually equip Ivan with the steel gear that he needs prior to being able to escort him, so that was cool. We could get that bit of the quest done. He only takes food up to salmon, and I couldn't be bothered to fish salmon, so I just went to the Sears Village pub and bought as many stews as I could. So yeah, I'm just doing this Slayer task here of Lesser Demons just while I wait for our cat to finish, and then we can take Ivan on his merry way. So we escorted Ivan. He nearly died to vampires because they like to ignore the player and just beeline towards your follower. He did make it, however, and we created the Rod of Evandis by fiddling with some dead guy's tomb. For the rod, I got the silver bar from the stall in Ardy, and like I say, I got the myth bar as a drop from Chaos Dwarves in Tavley Dungeon, not Druids. Completing this quest gave us 53 crafting, which is kind of nice, and I picked up Darkness of Hallowvale just while I was there, just because it's nice to start quests when you're next to them, even if you don't intend to do them immediately. Hey, you catch us at the end of this stupid Ice Mountain quest that takes absolutely forever. Obviously, we won't be using his storage function to be able to store the Baronite shards. There's not really anything I want from them. For example, if we get any pieces of the mace or the equipable hammer, I'll just trade those in for more shards. And then I guess we could spend the shards on like the mining buff here in the Sacred Forge. Basically, there's these mining nodes that don't deplete every time you mine them, and you get these stackable shards that you can turn in at this forge here. The forge does act as storage, so we won't be storing shards here, but you can spend them to activate either temporary or permanent buffs inside here. One of them is a mining success chance while mining these, as you can see here. The only real one we'll probably get if we hit this number before getting all the kudos items is this 10% mining buff for 2500. So yeah, I'm gonna clear up our inventory a little bit, drop these runes, hammer, rope, and then I'll just use our rune pick that we brought and just mine away until we get the kudos items, so yeah. Just killing these golems to get our runes wasted. Just hit 63 mage, so like I said in a previous episode, now we can use a Wizard's Mind Bomb boost. It'll give us +3, and then we can get into the Yanol Mages Guild, so we'll be able to purchase Mystic, as well as have access to another rune shop, and a couple of teleports to other wizardy related places, so that's really good. Here we are just turning in 2 of the relics from the below Ice Mountain Camzodal ruins area. Turns out we're just 1 kudos off, which is what I suspected, but I did just want to come with just the 2 that we had, just to double check. So yeah, I'm just going to head straight back down there now, grab the final relic for the final piece of kudos, and then come back and get our 43 prayer. Alright guys, we are back. Here I am, I've got my ancient treatise, or whatever it is. If you check the collection log here, we did actually go quite lucky. We got 3 Baronite heads. Obviously we didn't keep those, we just traded those in for the dust or whatever. And we also got, I think, 3 hammers, but they don't show. Only the fixed version shows on the collection log. And again, we just turned in the broken ones for more dust to buy buffs. So we did end up buying both the luck buff and the mining buff while we were there, because we were there about 3 hours. And we also bought 2 lots of the 1 hour temporary buff with the shards. So if I just talk to this dude here, talk about the relic found in Camdazal. He gives us 1 kudos, that gives us 151. And then if we go talk to this nice lady here, would you like some XP? And you're like, hell yeah. We get 20k XP across 5 skills. And if we click off, hopefully... So 42 prayer, 38 slayer, excuse the flashing, I should have turned that off. You can now kill Vyres, that's great. But yeah, we got 42 prayers, so we're only 3.5k off 43. For protection prayers, which is what we came here for. So I'm going to go have a little rustle through the wiki and see if there's a nice way we can get 3.5k XP that's not just burying bones over at the Ecto, so catch you guys in the next bit. I've decided we're going to do Darkness of Hallowvale, purely because we still have our Silver Sickle and our Druid Pouch on us from doing In Aid of the Myrique earlier. Darkness of Hallowvale, when you complete it, awards you 2000 XP in any skill 3 times. So if we pop that into prayer twice, we'll have protection prayers, and then we'll have an additional 2k to put in something rubbish like agility. So I'm going to get the items together and try and do Darkness of Hallowvale. So I grabbed a hammer, nails, and 2 planks to fix a boat to start the quest off. I also grabbed a new cat because I still haven't learnt my lesson, and I used the Shades of Morton teleport to nip over to the Berg de Rot area. This quest should be fairly straightforward, there's no boss fight or anything, just a lot of travelling about the maze-like slums of Mayaditch. Before Quest Helper was a thing, this quest was famous for how horrible the rooftop maze segment was, but nowadays, like anything, it's just a case of clicking on the blue. Despite there being no combat and lots of running, I did decide to remain in our full Addy armour on purpose, as there's a cutscene partway through the quest where a vampire will melee you 5 times, and without your protection prayers, you need as high defence as possible just to avoid dying in the middle of some slum that would be kinda hard to get back to. We bring a message from the Mayaditch rebels back to the Myrique base in Berg de Rot, and then we go investigate some cool-looking werewolf fellas over near the Paterdomus Temple. We head to Varrock to warn the king about potential undead threats from the east, and then return again to the vampire bastion of Mayaditch to do a little bit of recon. Using some coal and some papyrus, we have to sketch the outer reaches of the city to provide some intel to the rebels. And this is the part I mentioned before where you have to survive some melee hits. It went absolutely fine, so nothing to worry about there. We head back to the gang, search an old hidden laboratory for a book about blood magic, and we bring a final correspondence back to the Myrique base in Berg de Rot. Okay, and talking to this guy should be the final stage of Darkness of Hallowvale. Not gonna lie guys, this took like an hour. I really thought it'd take like 20 minutes, but had a little bit of lag, and a lot of walking. Anyway, 7k agility, 6k thieving, a bit of construction, but we did come here for this tome of XP, which we're going to put 2 into prayer. There's 1, and there's 2. Oh, I think it's hungry kind of ruined the momentum of that reveal, but there we go. There's 43 prayer, so we've got protect from melee, range and mage on the account now, so that's awesome. Got another charge to use. I mean, I think we're going to go the usual route for a UIM and chuck it in Herblore just to save us some time down the line. So that was Darkness of Hallowvale. We've got our protection prayers, and now the world is our oyster in terms of what to do next on the account. Gamers, it's me, your boy, Golem Doer. I'm just doing the Golem quest, just because we want to do Shadow of the Storm after, and then subsequently the Evil Dave portion of Recipe for Disaster. Get ourselves some slightly better gloves and the ability to make stews. So I'm going to go do the Golem now. Yeah. So I smacked out the Golem, super easy quest, nothing really of note. Here we are at the very end of Shadow of the Storm, just been maging the boss demon because you only need to finish him off with the Dark Light Sword. And there he is down. The reward for this quest is a choice of 10k combat XP in any of the combat skills. Sadly this doesn't include prayer, so it's kind of useless to us because all our skills are kind of high. Just go ahead here and chuck it into range just to pull up to a nice flat 60. So with the demon banished, it's off to free Evil Dave in Recipe for Disaster. For this you need a bunch of stews, so I just nipped to Sears Village pub and just bought a load of those. And then we went over to do RFD. Alright, here we are, Evil Dave's basement on RFD Evil Dave. Our cat's not quite grown up, as you can see, we're 20 minutes early, but I'm just going to attempt it with a kitten. We'll fail a lot more than with a fully grown cat, but I'd rather not just wait 20 minutes, because we'll be here with stews anyway. And that's Evil Dave freed with this tasty rat stew. This pushed us up to 52 cooking and access to Addy gloves, which is really, really awesome. And yes, I did PM myself with the spice amount, so I won't forget them, that's just big brain play. That was really, really easy. Didn't expect to do it before our cat grew up fully, but got our Addy gloves, so that's awesome. The next 2 require a little bit more in terms of questing. You need to do Monkey Madness and either Heroes or Legends quest for the other 2. So it's going to be a little while till we upgrade our gloves further, but it's really nice to have these. Obviously, on a UIM, having an item that's all 3 combat styles is super, super useful. So what I'm actually going to do now is just randomly do Prince Ali Rescue, because we never did it, and it's so easy, it's really stupid that we haven't done it yet. So I'm just going to grab all the bits around Lumbridge and whatever, and then we'll go make this toll gate free, just because we've got time to kill for our cat to grow up. Once it is grown up, I won't be turning this in, and we'll go attempt Icthorin's little helper, just to unlock Sophan and Menethos, all that stuff. So once we've done all the quests that need a cat, I won't need to worry too much about having cats with us all the time. I'll probably still be raising them, because obviously the XP or money from the death runes is really good, but yeah, that's the plan for now. Okay, so that's Prince Ali Rescue. 700 coins. Great reward. Free use of the gate is something, I guess, if somehow we're ever here without cash. But yeah, we just did that quest just for the sake of it, because it needed doing. If we look at our quest list, it was only free-to-play one that we haven't done, aside from Dragon Slayer that we don't actually want to do yet. Time for Icthorin's little helper now. I've been putting this off until we got protection prayers, because I thought the boss during this quest was actually really hard. Turns out it's not. But hey, we got prayers anyway, so that's nice. Okay, so this is Icthorin's little helper. This is one of the bits I always have horrible flashbacks of doing this quest, falling down this hole repeatedly, not having enough supplies with us, etc, etc. With Quest Helper, not many things are too difficult, and like I say, we got ourselves protection prayers, especially for this, just so we'd be able to fight the boss that we encounter a bit later on. This is one of those quests I always dread, but it actually went very smoothly. I only fell down the pyramid jump like twice throughout the whole quest, and with a nice high HP level that we have, food and prayers, the combat parts were no sweat whatsoever either, so yeah, nice to have this one done. Whoa, Amulet of Cat Speak. I hope I can get that back from, like, Purdue. I'd have to come, like, to Sophanum or whatever to pick it up. Right, contact time. Looking like a beast. Here are the skills. Here's the gear. We're going to have a go. I don't know how well it'll do. We've got protection prayers, but we don't have prayer pots, so we'll just see what happens. So I went through the dungeon underneath Sophanum. It was completely smooth. Thanks again to Quest Helper. We speak to a girl from Menaphos down in the cave, and we return to tell the news to Spy Master Osman back in Al-Kharid. We then return once again to Sophanum with Osman in tow, and we've traversed the dungeon once more. This time it went a lot worse. I wasn't paying attention, I got hit by multiple traps, and I mistimed my prayers a few times, so I got hit by the mages on the way down. So I made it through to the cavern with just a single cake remaining. This was totally my fault, but I tried to kill the boss anyway. Sadly our food wasn't enough to take him down, just a single cake, so I came back after a quick trip to the Brimhaven Karambwan shop, being more careful this time of obstacles along the way, and I had another go. I also remembered to remove my melee armor that was significantly hampering my chance to hit with magic spells before, and it was super easy this time. I claimed the Keris dagger and teleported out to save travelling back up past all the traps. On the way down to the High Priest, just to hand the quest in, I hit the magic statue from the Spirits of the Elid quest, just to replenish our health and cure our poison. And that was job done. 7,000 thieving XP, which didn't grant us a level, but we did get a 14k melee lamp that we put into defense, just to put us up to 61 from 60, just because we will need 65 eventually to do the King's Ransom quest. Okay guys, next on the list, we're just waiting for this cat to grow up so we can go do rat catchers, get that out of the way. In the meantime, we're going to try and do the Edgar's Ruse quest. It's going to unlock the Trollheim teleport for us, which will be nice to get around, and also it gives 11,000 Herblore XP as a reward. If we take a look, we've only got 24k Herblore so far, so it's almost an extra 50% on top of all of our XP. So that'll be really nice. That'll help us to make some better potions, probably prayer pots after this quest, so that'll be really nice. Funnily enough, it actually took us so long to get the single Renard drop from these guys that I ended up with 8 Chaos Druid heads and enough vials and herbs to make 6 unfinished Haralander potions before we got the Renard drop. So I had to quickly dip out, go and make these potions into energy pots over at the Lumbridge RFD food chest, just by crushing some chocolate bars over there and popping them inside. And then I had to nip over to Arceus and just reanimate these heads for the prayer XP. The heads are worth almost 600 XP each, and we got 8 of them, so this detour almost netted us an entire extra prayer level, so that was actually kind of lucky that we went so dry. Anyway, nipped back, grabbed our Ranarr, and we headed off to do Edgar's Ruse. For Edgar's Ruse, we need to help a hermit druid that lives up near the trolls. He basically wants to secure this weed called goutweed that the trolls are known to grow, so we need to go in there and steal some. During this quest we have to make multiple trips up to the Trollheim Mountains, as you can see here, without the teleport spell, as obviously you get that spell as the reward for this quest. The ruse itself has us create a fake man, which is basically a scarecrow with a drunk parrot stuffed inside so it can sound like a man and look like a man. The idea of this is to fool the trolls into thinking it's a full-on human that they can eat, in exchange for letting the druids of Tavley have some cuttings of the legendary herb called goutweed. Creating this man has us bring 10 wheat and 5 chickens to stuff in his body in a single delivery, so this is 50 in inventory spaces. This meant I had to briefly ditch all our unnecessary runes, as well as our rune tools that we've been carrying. Obviously we can go buy those back at any point. And eventually our strength amulet as well, just to use the slot for the cat speak amulet, just because we needed an extra slot to grab the druid robe from the Tavley washing line. With all the items for our fake man, we return to Edgar, we retrieve our drunk parrot that's been hiding in the troll jail, picking up words from the prisoners so it can sound like them, so it can pass as a human, and then we combine everything into our human effigy. After turning this in and sneaking into the storerooms at the end, we make off with a cutting of their goutweed, hand this into Sanfew, the head druid over in Tavley, and claim our reward. And with this, we've got Sanfew's stinky little herb, and hopefully that's all he needs for the quest to be complete. There we go. You've completed Edgar's Ruse, 1 quest point, 11k Herblore XP, and obviously access to Trollheim Telly, which will be useful later, pushing us all the way up to 39 Herblore, really close to 40, so that's really nice. We can make some new stuff. Also our cat's fully done, so we'll be able to go do rat catchers now. I'll just pick him up to make sure it doesn't overgrow. Hey guys, just finishing off the 65 defense here. There we go, level 65. So now all our melees are exactly 65, which looks kind of weird. The reason we obviously went for 65 defense is just because you need it for the King's Ransom quest a little bit later down the line, and obviously the attack and strength to get in the Warriors Guild, which we can already do. So that's cool. I think that's the only melee stats you really need for Quest Cape, specifically in terms of hard requirements. I think there's some combat level requirement for something else. Obviously we will be getting these stats higher, just so we can hit higher and wield stuff like barrows at 70 and everything. So yeah, obviously we're going to still be training, but in terms of Quest Cape, I think we're pretty much there, so that's really, really cool. So I'll just go knock out this birdhouse run real quick, and then we'll probably have to go start the giant dwarf in order to get into Keldagrim to do the Keldagrim part of rat catchers, and then we'll do Tale of Two Cats as well. So I'm not entirely sure if anyone's interested, but this is how I'm doing tree runs. Whenever we get tree seeds from birdhouse runs, I just use Camelot Telly, run over here to Catherby, go to this farm shop, buy pretty much one of every tool, including the watering can, as many plant pots as we need, and as many buckets as we need. Run into this kitchen here, use the sink to fill the watering can, pop all the seeds in the things, water them all, then drop the can, come over here, take some of our compost. There's currently still some ultra compost in here, because we made some earlier, but it's only on 3, so chances are next time we won't have enough. So obviously what you do, I'm sure most people know this, onto this dock here, any traded crew member works. Just trade them and you can purchase pineapples here. They're 5 coins each, you only need 15 to fill up the compost bin up there and make 15 super compost. You can do it in as many trips as it takes, so even if you have 1 invent space you could make 15 trips, for example. Wouldn't be efficient, but it's possible. Then you close the bin, it starts rotting into super compost, and all you need to do is take a pickaxe over to Fossil Island to the volcanic ash, just mine yourself, I think it's 15 of that. The ash stacks, so it's really easy to just carry around with you. And then that turns the compost into ultra compost, which we don't always do, but I did do last time we made some. We keep our tools and our compost. The reason we compost instead of paying is because a lot of the payments for trees are baskets of fruit, things like that, or sacks of things, so we actually can't use those because they're inventory enhancing containers, so we can't pay to protect the trees. So we just compost and pray. Some of them die, but most of them don't. And then we just run around and plant these whenever we can. So just go around, plant them, and then we just check them. Wow, 41 farming, check that out. So yeah, that's our tree run method. It's not really complicated, not really hard. Okay, so funnily enough, our trees aren't actually ready to plant, because I haven't got the farming guild, the leche patch. I can't actually plant these 3 fruit trees until like an hour and a half from now when some other trees are done, which is a good problem to have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go start the giant dwarf, I think do the first 3 little steps, and you unlock the minecart system and you also are able to come into the town and do rat catchers in here. So yeah, just going to do that now. Cool, so we finished talking to the guy, finished the cutscene, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do the next step where you speak to the sculptor across the road, just so we're definitely sure that we've progressed the quest far enough to be eligible to do rat catchers. Right, okay, so we can actually start rat catchers now. The only issue is I had a look and you need a lot of items for that quest. And obviously we're using like 10 different item slots waiting for our trees to be plantable before we can ditch all this garbage. So what I'm actually going to do is just do the giant dwarf in its entirety first, because you only need something like 10 items for that, which we can probably do. So I've just been to Lumbridge, grabbed ourselves a tinderbox, an axe, a pickaxe, a log, killed some goblins for the chef's hat. I'm just going to nip inside the cook's guild here. Hopefully we have access to the pie shop. I'm not sure if there's any requirements for that, but then we can just buy the red berry pie from here instead of having to go make it. There we go, we can give that to Thorgrim or whatever his name is. So we need 3 cut sapphires. Hopefully the gemstone guy in Ardy actually sells them and they're not sold out. If so, we'll just purchase 3. So yeah, I'll just get the things together for Giant Dwarf and then we'll do that. Just because, like I say, we've got about an hour and 7 minutes to kill just before our fruit trees are grown. Then we can plant these other 3 fruit trees and not waste the XP. And then we'll have the inventory space for rat catchers, and then we'll carry on with the plan of doing the cat-based quests. Okay, we're running around grabbing all the pieces to recreate the statue of the Giant Dwarf that gets destroyed when we initially enter the town, and that's the quest. I know for this we do need to take an axe down to Thurgo back on Mudskipper Point, which is why we went and bought the red berry pie before. We did find the sapphires, they were at the RD gem store, just had to hop a couple of times. So now what we need to do is go see Thurgo. He does love his pies, bless him. I mean, really we're enabling someone with a serious problem, but he should fix the axe and then we can dip back. One thing about this quest I did completely forget is the part at the end when you join one of the consortium factions and you do need to keep bringing various ores and bars over to Keldagrim to turn in within a time limit. Oh wow, it teleported as well. So if it is the case, like we need like 15 in one delivery or something stupid, then genuinely I'll just log off for an hour and come back, plant the trees and then do this quest. 5 iron ore. Bro, I can do that for you, that's sick. Oh, I got rid of the pig, didn't I? We'll go to the shop and buy like a myth or an addy. We won't go full rune because I'm not spending 40k for this quest. Okay, so it turns out we were too slow, or logging off resets it or something. The guy wants 3 clay now, which is actually really easy to get. We're just here at at Varrock Champions Guild Mine. Okay, we're back for like our 4th or 5th delivery. More if you count the iron ore that he didn't initially accept. Let's see if this is the last one or if we have to go get some others. Oh, amazing. Right, we've moved up to the director, which should mean we get bars now, which is going to be a little bit scary. So let's have a look what he gives us. What tasks can we get? 3 silver bars, that's doable. Okay, we delivered 1 lot of silver bars, and that was enough for this dude to let us join, so I have no idea how this works in terms of how many trips you need to do, but that's great. So we'll support the blue opal, whatever that means, and then we'll go back to Commander Velderban. It takes a long time, even though it was really nice, we only had to ever get 5 of any ore at once. It was a case of heading to a fairy ring to DKS and walking. So it did take a little while, but like I say, we've got time to kill till our trees are ready anyway, so as usual on this account it seems like we're mainly making decisions on whether or not we have time to kill or not. This is a really cool quest because there's a really long cutscene, but you get an option to skip it, which should be a thing in new quests, but isn't. Anyway, that's the giant dwarf fully completed. A little bit of XP and a bunch of stuff. I can't imagine we'll get many levels off that. 44 smithing, 51 fire making. Really just kind of nothing levels, aren't they? But that's really cool. So we should be able to do Forgettable Tale of a Drunken Dwarf, and we should be able to do Rat Catchers. Let's have a look what items we need for Forgettable Tale. You actually need farming tools, which is interesting because we have a bunch of those. Okay, we'll go grab the items for Forgettable Tale because this is a farming-based quest. So I'll just really quick run over to Alcarid, grab a kebab, and then we'll go around the map and grab all the other things we need, like buckets of water and stuff to make our beer, and then a couple of beers, beer glasses, things like that. Basically, during this quest, we have to create some special beer inside Keldagrim. There's a special hops patch where we grow some Kelder hops, which is a quest item, and then at the very end we also brew the hops into some special beer. Both these steps take some time where we're forced to wait about 20 minutes, so I'd like to get this quest started just so at least one of those steps is on its way while we're doing other things. Now, to actually complete this quest we do need to grow ourselves some barley outside the quest, so I'm here at the Varrock hops patch just with some barley seeds from the Draenor Manor seed shop, the place we normally go for our birdhouse run seeds, and I've got ourselves a compost pack from the farming store just because you can actually protect barley because it's so low level with just 3 regular compost. So what we're going to do is just plant them, not compost them, and then we're actually going to finally be able to pay to protect a crop because a compost isn't an inventory enhancing container in any way. So there we go, 3 composts for that. Technically we could go to some other places while we have this stuff and plant some more barley, but the XP is going to be so bad for harvesting this that I'm not bothered. We'll keep the other farming stuff on us, obviously, because we need to plant our trees in 10 minutes, and also we actually need these farming tools for the quest itself because it does involve some farming. So with these barley plants growing, I don't know how long they take, but what we are going to do is just head back to Keldagrim now, just see how far we can get before we come to a standstill and we need our barley. I feel like it might be only needed at the very end of the quest, which would be cool. Then we can just nip back, pick 2 barley, and then come back and finish our special quest beer and knock this quest out. Right, okay, so we've met the Drunken Dwarf, and he's given us one of the 3 seeds we need to start growing our hops. Interestingly, this next dwarf that we talk to will give us one of the other seeds in exchange for a random item that's different per player from a list of items. So let's have a look, see what he's going to request from us. A burnt chicken. Interesting. Our cooking's obviously too high to burn chicken at this point, so we just cook the chicken twice, and that'll guarantee that it burns. Hopefully that's all this guy needs to give us his Kelder seed, and then we'll just go grab the 3rd one, and we should be able to plant them. As you can see, I've put some tile markers down just to where the different minecarts go, which is kind of handy if you forget. If you want to do this yourself with tile markers on, you just shift right click and you can mark tile, and then if you shift right click on a marked tile you can label tile. So now we know which minecart to hop in if we want to go to each of the destinations. You might have seen some of the tile markers I've left around, like back when we did Giant's Foundry I had some tile markers on the machines just so you know which one does what. It's really helpful at a glance for various things in the game, so I'd recommend it if you do have Runelight, which of course you do. So for this bit we need to give this guy a Dwarven Stout and 200 coins. Luckily, like the quest helper says, Dwarven Stout just spawns here, so we can just give him one. Which is strange that no one minds that we take it for free, and he also accepts it as a gift even though we just took it off the table right next to him. Cool, that's 3 seeds. So we can now just take the cart back to Keldrim. Just a note, we can use these carts outside the quest. There's a couple of locations. Dwarven Mine north of Falador Pickaxe Shop, there's one there. There's one at the Grand Exchange, there's one here under Ice Mountain. They all just cost a few coins to use to buy the ticket. It would be nice if later you got them for free if you did like a diary or something, but I don't think that is the case. But yeah, we can kinda get around using this. We probably won't because it's so difficult to initially get here in the first place. It's still nice always to have new transportation options. Cool, so we buy this little lad here a cheeky beer, and that gives us our actual 4th Kelder seed. So with all 4 seeds, we go talk to this guy here. He's the gardener, and he does kind of teach us about how to grow hops, but obviously we've done that a bunch already, like for the Seer's Diary, etc. So this is the quest-specific hops patch. You can't use this after the quest, it's just for the quest, and it's only for these specific seeds. Not totally sure how long they take to grow, but our barley's going to be like another half an hour anyway, so we're not really in a rush. Right, just really quickly back to Varrock, gonna check on the hops patch down here and hopefully our barley's done. Yeah, cool. Hopefully these are the tools to harvest it. Awesome, I do only need 2 of them, so I'm just gonna leave the rest. And then these should be the last items we need for the Forgettable Tale quest that we're doing. And then once we've done that, we'll have a look at getting the items together to do rat catchers that we initially planned to today. But we'll be able to get all this garbage out of our invent, so that'll be nice. So let's go get our beer brewing. Right guys, we're back. As you can see, it's another day. Tears of Guthix is once again ready, so we'll go do that in a bit. We're just here on Forgettable Tale. Our beer's done. I thought this was the end of the quest, but there's actually this whole minecart section afterwards. So we'll turn in the beer to the guy. And then I'll just go do the minecart section. It's not very interesting. If you've done it before, you just have to like turn some knobs to direct some tracks. And then we overhear some like evil dwarves' plans or something. None of it matters because they never made a follow-up quest in this game. So we'll just bang this quest out and then we'll shoot off and finally do rat catchers. Cool, and with that, that's Forgettable Tale done. That's 5,000 farming, 5,000 cooking. 43 farming off that. Not a cooking level because we're already quite high. So that's good. Right, just going to bang out this week's Tears of Guthix before we go do rat catchers, see what it goes into. Cool, 119 tears because we've done so many quests. We've done the diary requirement to do over 100 tears in one go, so that's nice. 40 Slayer, so basilisks and pterodogs. Decent. So with that cave juice down the hatch, what I did next is went to start rat catchers finally, just nipped over to Gertrude to start the quest, and then went downstairs into Varrock's sewer and helped these 2 NPCs here catch a couple of rats with our cat. Right, just getting the items together for the rat catchers quest. You actually need a ton of stuff. We've been all over the game to get all this stuff so far. Just back at our friendly neighbourhood Chaos Druids, we need to get a clean qualm. So I'm going to kill these guys till they drop one. It's like 1 in 71, so hopefully we're not here too long. And even if we are, maybe we'll get some ensouled heads or something nice like we did last time. So, right guys, we got ourselves our qualm here. We're going to have to nip over to Narda just to clean it to do rat catchers. On the way, got a bunch of Harrowlander pots, as usual, from the Chaos Druids. So I'm just here at the Chocolate Man, as I call him, the Ardy Baker. Because we've got the Pestle Mortar anyway for this quest. We've got ourselves the ability to crush the chocolate that he sells and just really quickly make energy pots. So, just going to make all these up and then we'll head to Narda, clean the herb, and then we'll actually start rat catchers finally. Oh no, it's the house part. So I got up to the mansion infiltration part of rat catchers, just this bit here where you have to sneak past some guards. Did get caught a couple of times, but in the end it wasn't too bad. What you can do during this quest is hop worlds, which obviously the guards are in different positions on different worlds, so instead of waiting for them to patrol, you can kind of hop around until they're in a favourable spot for you to move to the next room. Yeah, like I say, I got caught a couple of times, like where they saw me diagonally through doors and things that felt a little bit cheap, but it wasn't too bad. Right, here we are in Keldrim, ready to smoke some weed in order to make some smoke to get rid of this last rat. The reason we got all this fish is because we just did the bit where a cat fights with a rat and you have to feed it fish to keep it alive. So I just grabbed some bare-handed fish from Catherby first, just to make sure he didn't die. As you can see, he used quite a few, so it was good that we did this first. Anyway, on with the quest. Okay, and with all these rats charmed into the ocean and killed, hopefully handing this in should be the end of rat catchers. Here we go, quest points and thieving XP. Nothing exciting. 56 thieving though, that's something. So the main positive of doing that quest is obviously getting the rat pits teleport on minigames here. So if you go to Rat Pit's telly, we have 4 options to telly to, which is really helpful. Only these bottom 2 are actually useful because the other 2 have normal telly spells. But there's no other way to get to Port Sarim easily. And we can also get to Keldgrim easily. So we've got a teleport there with a 20-minute cooldown that we can reuse for free. So that's really, really helpful. Here we are just getting our stuff together for Tale of Two Cats. I only need a few items for this one. I'm just coming down for the desert robe piece from Shantae's shop. Then we're going to shoot over to Ardy, grab a chocolate cake, and then run a little bit north to Master Farmers just to get our potato seeds. Right, here we are at the dude's house. Going to start Tale of Two Cats, got all his stuff. During this quest there is a little bit of time you have to wait for his potatoes to grow outside, but I don't think we get to that stage for a little while, so we'll just do the quest in its entirety. So yeah, let's sort this dude out, sort his life out, learn about Bob the Cat, get our 5k XP reward, and then we'll work out what it is we're doing next. Just gotta say how useful it is that we did Spirits of the Iliad as early as we did, because being able to run past Nada and use this statuette to get full run energy is really nice every time we're passing here. So here we are, sorting out Unferth's life, making his bed, cleaning him up. I mean, it's just a spit in the face that probably all us RuneScape players need this done to us. But yeah. Right, supposedly our potatoes are done. As you can see, we just did some random agility stuff and whatever. Let's go have a look. Hey, there we go. Tale of Two Cats, 2 quest points. We get 2.5k lamps. And obviously they're going straight into Herbie Lore. So that's that. Hopefully that's the level. 41. No unlocks, but still nice to have. And with that, guys, we're calling this episode of Bag Only complete. If you take a look at our progress, we've done absolutely loads in this episode. We've done so many quests, I had to make the graphic bigger. All our combats are at least 60, all our melees are at least 65. We've got access to those lovely protection prayers, and we have the herb lore level for prayer pots and the farming level for Ranors, so we can make them whenever we want to. We're also slowly approaching the first few Slayer monsters that are actually worth killing, so what I'll do probably in an upcoming episode is go do Monkey Madness 1, get that nice D-skim, go for our Dragon Defender, and then with some weapons in hand and some prayer pots, we'll start doing some real Slayer. Obviously, as we come upon any quests, we'll just do them as we see fit, because the goal is the questcape. Got a bunch of stuff this episode, we made some new portals in our house, we got access to a few new towns like Sophanum and Mayaditch and Berg de Rot, got ourselves that Ring of the Elements from Guardians of the Rift so we can teleport about nicely. Obviously got ourselves protection prayers, and we completed the museum kudos. Huge thanks for tuning in. If you want to leave a like, feel free. If you've got anything to say about the series or any comments or suggestions, leave them as a comment below, and I'll check them out, obviously. And if you fancy subbing to see more of this, that's your God-given right as a YouTuber. Anyway, with all that said, I'll see you in the next one. Stay hydrated and look after yourself. Bye.
I saw some mud crabs by the water recently. I steered clear of them.